If you are looking for book recs to read for the Trans Rights Readathon, the number one book rec that I will always give is The Sun Bear Trials. Super easy read, especially if you love the Hunger Games. It's like the Hunger Games mixed with demigods. Cemetery Boys is written by the same author. It is about this brujo that is trying to prove himself to his family members, so he accidentally summons the ghost of this really cute boy named Julian, and he has to be able to return him back to the afterlife before he turns into this evil poltergeist. Anything by Aidan Thomas is a safe bet. Andrew Joseph White is the second author that comes to mind. All of his books are really fucking good. My favorite is The Spirit Bears Its Teeth. It was giving Sucker Punch, but with like being able to see ghosts, if that makes sense. And then Hell Followed With Us is about these religious people that bring about the end of times, and they basically bring about the end of times by creating these zombie like mega creatures. I still have to read their book Compound Fracture. I still haven't gotten to that one. Most Urgently, from what I heard, is a Pride and Prejudice retelling. The way that I read it, because I've never read Pride and Prejudice, was that it was a love story, like a forbidden love story from ye old times. Even though it wasn't written in the ye old times, it was published quite recently. The same author that wrote Most Urgently, I just read their newest book that comes out in May called These Vengeful Gods, and that was a page turner. If you can get on NetGalley and get that book, or if you have the patience to wait for that book, all the power to you. But it is about this kid whose uncles are taken by the government, so he joins this death competition to get a favor from the gods in order to release his uncles, but everything's twisted in this motherfucking government. If you are looking for books with non-binary rep, I have one cozy fantasy, and then I have another author as well. So KJ Sinclair is the absolute sweetest author that I have ever met, and their humor translates from real life into their actual books because the memes they sent me are so funny. But then their books and their characters have so much life and so much humor to them as well. Their book, The Royal They, is one book that I have not stopped thinking about, and I want the second book already. And it is about this royal heir that is set to take the throne after his father passes away, but they are trying to avoid all responsibility, and they're like, you know what? I want to go on an adventure. I never wanted this. I never wanted to be the heir to the throne. So I'm just going to run away from my problems. And you know what? That's a vibe. That's a feeling. And they end up meeting all these other characters along the way, and they go on adventures, and it's super cute and it's super dope. And I absolutely fucking love it, and I can't wait for more adventures. It is the LGBTQ cozy fantasy with like a found family that I've been waiting to read, and with a cast that is like so perfectly well written. Like I said, I am waiting. I am waiting for the second book. The last author that I'm going to mention here is going to be Ali K. Mulford or A.K. Mulford. This is a non binary author. Ali K. Mulford is their pen name for their romances, and I absolutely love their zookeeper romances. It's the Prickle Island Zoo romances. The Prickle Island Zoo romances are She's the Keeper, Easy Tiger, Party Animal, and Crocodile Tears. All of them have different types of LGBTQ rep. These books all follow one of the zookeepers at Prickle Island Zoo, and it is basically following their love stories. And each one is quirky, each one is very fucking funny in its own way, and all the love stories are very the way they're done are amazing, but they remind me of an adult version of a Disney Channel original movie. So if you miss the days of a Disney Channel original movie, these books are going to be the books for you. They also have two other series that they have. One, I have read the first book in, which is like a Sleeping Beauty retelling. It is A River of Golden Bones, and I have to reread that book. But that one I liked. It was also very much like Found Family, but they have an enemy, and it's it's a very different retelling. Like everything that's done through that retelling feels like it it's just it's just flipping the retelling on its head, and it's inventing its own life out of it, and that's what you want from a retelling, and that's how it feels to read A River of Golden Bones. And like I said, I still have to read book 2 and book 3, and the representation, they did it where they have the flags on the cover, but it's built into the cover design. So that is really dope, I think. And then they have their crowns of Okurth. I think that's how it is. Could be wrong, but I'll just put a picture up above. And I know I said that was the last author, but The Baker and the Bard is a really quick comic that you can read. It is giving Adventure Time, and it's written by Fern Hott, I think. I wish there was more comics like this in this particular book series, because I read this within a couple of hours and I finished it, and I was like, wow, that felt like an Adventure Time adventure. And it felt like one of those 15-minute episode adventures where it goes by so quickly, and then you try to like tune into the next one and then go into the next one, and you just binge a bunch of like Adventure Time adventures. Like one of those Cartoon Network shows where you just like binge it until you can no longer take it. But like I I kind of wish there was more comics in that series.